Welcome back to The Accent Journey, the podcast for non-native speakers of American English who want to sound clearer, more confident, and more natural when they speak. I'm Steve Nelson, your American English accent coach from accentfirst.com. And in the last episode, we had a fantastic interview with accent modification student Sam Rowan. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I definitely recommend it. In our last instructional episode, we talked about voiced and voiceless sounds, and how they affect word endings like S. We finished with a passage that I asked you to practice yourself. Another one of my students, David, a native speaker of Mandarin, took on the challenge and recorded himself speaking it. Here's David's version of last week's practice passage.
She works with international clients and manages several projects. She believes clear communication matters and takes time to explain details. Her coworkers respect her ideas, ask questions, and trust her decisions because she speaks clearly and confidently.
Well done, David, and thank you for rising to the challenge. If you want to appear on the podcast reading the practice passage like David, drop us an email at info@accentfirst.com. In today's episode, we're building directly on the idea of voiced and voiceless sounds with something learners struggle with at every level of English: ed endings and past tense verbs. Many learners think past tense is just a grammar issue, but in spoken English, past tense is very often a pronunciation issue. If the ed ending is unclear, listeners may not hear when something happened, whether it's already finished, or whether it's still happening. That can cause confusion, even if the rest of your sentence is perfect. Here's the key idea for today. ed is spelled one way, but pronounced three different ways. This is not irregular. It's not random. It follows a clear pattern based on sound, not spelling. And once you understand that pattern, ed endings become much easier. Let's break this down step by step. First is the t ending, or the voiceless. So use the t ending after voiceless sounds like p, t, f, s, sh, and ch. Some examples are worked, stopped, laughed, watched. You'll notice that we still spell them with an ed, but it's pronounced like a t sound. There's no extra syllable, just a clean, quick ending. The second version is a d, which is voiced. Use the d after voiced sounds like b, g, v, m, n, l, and vowels. Some examples are lived, played, called, learned. Again, no extra syllable. And the third way is the ed, which is an extra syllable. Use the ed form after words that end in p or d. Some examples are wanted, needed, decided. This is the only time that ed adds a new syllable. Why do learners struggle so much with these endings? Well, many learners pronounce every ed ending as ed, or they drop the ending completely, or they add too much emphasis. Native speakers expect short, efficient endings. Overpronouncing ed can make your speech sound hesitant or unnatural. Underpronouncing it can make the verb tense unclear. The goal is balance. All right, let's practice. Repeat after me. First, the t words. Worked, stopped, missed. And now the d words. Lived, played, called. And finally, the words that end with the ed sound. Wanted, needed, decided. Notice that there's no extra vowel in work. There's a clear vibration in lived, which means it's voiced, and a full extra syllable in wanted. Let's try some sentences. Listen and repeat slowly. I worked late yesterday. She lived abroad for years. They wanted more time. Now again, more naturally. I worked late yesterday. She lived abroad for years. They wanted more time. Now let's try this week's practice passage. Listen for the first time slowly. Last year, I worked on several projects and learned new skills. I joined a new team, attended meetings, and completed tasks on time. At first, it felt challenging, but I stayed focused and finished everything I started. Now listen again more naturally and repeat after me. Last year, I worked on several projects and learned new skills. I joined a new team, attended meetings, and completed tasks on time. At first, it felt challenging, but I stayed focused and finished everything I started. The text for this passage will be in the show notes of this episode and also on our website at accentfirst.com/podcast. All right, let's summarize. First, past tense clarity depends on sound. Listeners rely on ed endings more than you think. Second, think sound, not spelling. Your mouth follows phonetic rules, not letters. And third, small adjustments can create big results. Clean endings instantly improve clarity. If you ever feel unsure, remember this. The sound before the ed tells you what to do. This week, notice ed endings when listening to English. Ask yourself, is it t, d, or ed? And practice today's passage once a day. Even 1 minute of focused practice makes a difference. Thanks for continuing the accent journey. This podcast is brought to you by Accent First Speech Communication Services online at accentfirst.com. Drop us a line at info@accentfirst.com. Our music is Hypnosis by Vondra D. In the next episode, we'll have another interview with another one of my accent students. And after that, we'll have another instructional episode in which we'll shift from endings to word stress. And we'll learn why saying the right syllable clearly matters more than having the perfect sound. Until next time, stay patient, stay consistent, and keep moving forward.